Sato coming from passing it.
So the red flag withdrawn after 10 minutes and 18 seconds. Sebastian Bourdais leads the field back out onto the racetrack. Doc?
And we have checked with their pits and Jimmy Vasser and all the engineers and computers, and here's what they're telling Sebastian Bourdais. You're going to refire now, make one lap, and come around to the green flag with a few laps to go. Based on their computer calculations, the computers show that Sebastian Bourdais can make it to lap 69, just beyond lap 69, and he will be out of fuel. If they get a yellow, he'll be good. If they don't, he may be done.
So you see now the clock, top of the screen, and the time remaining in this race, and they will go green this time by.
If I was Bourdais, I'd be doing a very slow warm-up lap right now. Let that clock tick away.
You're afraid of the cold tires, or just let the time run?
Let the time run.
Okay.
Which he can't do because he has to keep up with the pace car. But cold tires are going to be an issue. Sato behind him is an issue. Sato is under pressure from Rahal. So this is going to be, and don't forget Montoya.
I believe I used the phrase last week at Indy, deep breath. Deep breath.
Very deep breath.
Bourdais, Sato, Rahal, Montoya. Then Tony Kanaan moving up to 5th after the willpower crash. Sebastian Bourdais, 4 straight championships in the kart era, 4 consecutive years. He's been close this season. They've been very solid. They've been like best in class behind the Penske and Ganassi teams. He's out in front today. He's got a chance to win. He's got Takuma Sato right behind him. They're coming to the green flag. How many more laps will we see? Will there be another crash? We all find out together.
Green, green, green.
Tony Kanaan and Simon Pagenaud ducked out of the pit lane at the restart.
What Bourdais needs is to have Rahal right on the gearbox of Sato. Rahal and Sato have not had a good weekend with each other this race. And the more pressure he can put on him, the better Bourdais will be. Sato almost loses it coming out of that corner.
He's wide just a little bit. Is that enough of a run for Sato to get there?
Don't forget, he's got to go on that semi-damp part of the track to get by, and Bourdais will not give him any room.
Around the Fountain Complex.
Chevy versus Honda. A direct fight for the win here in Detroit.
This is a point where you're driving as hard as you can. Your heart rate's right up there, and you are pushing each and every turn deep into the braking zones.
Right now, it's just about the first 3. Montoya's fallen back.
But remember, fuel is still a concern for all of these guys. They could still hiccup in the remaining laps. The white flag will wave next time. Race control calling out. White flag next time. 2 to go here in Detroit.
These 3 guys are not looking at their fuel. They're going for broke. If they run out of fuel, they run out of fuel.
Bourdais, Sato, Rahal. Then a gap back to Montoya.
This is the section of the track where Sato always gains on Bourdais. We'll see if he does it again. They're right on the limit. Bourdais is looking awfully strong.
Seems like once the tires got up to temperature there after a lap or so, his car certainly seems to work just a little bit better.
He's checking out.
A team that's owned by Jimmy Vasser, who we saw just a moment ago, and Kevin Kalkoven.
He's checking out. If he doesn't have a fuel problem, he has this in the back.
If White flag, 1 lap to go. Rahal looking at Sato for second while Sebastian Bourdais leads. Does he have the fuel to finish? Montoya under some pressure from Vautier for the 4th spot, well behind these front 3. And Vautier gets by Montoya.
What a great drive by him.
There's Andretti by Montoya. Montoya struggling.
Is Montoya running out of fuel?
Bourdais has just left everybody behind. Right now, Sato's biggest problem is Rahal.
Half a lap to go. Hopping the curb is Bourdais.
Very few corners left. He has no reason to look in his mirrors. All he has to focus is about what is ahead of him and just hope there's enough fuel in the car.
Checkered flag is waving. He'll have enough fuel to make it. The winner of Duel in Detroit, race number 2, Sebastian Bourdais.
Great job, buddy. Awesome. Woohoo! All right, bud. Great job, man. Awesome job, brother. Awesome job. Great job, bud. Way to go.
Wow. Wow.
Great job, guys. Great job. Wow.
Those last 2 laps were
Awesome
unbelievable.
job. Got it.
He won by a 1.7-second gap, Scott.
And you can hear the relief on his voice because it's a win that everybody's wondering whether anybody can beat Penske and Ganassi this year. But I would say, as you mentioned before, I think one of the most talented road course drivers here. And yes, Juan Pablo was running out of fuel.
Yeah.
Had contact coming to the checkered flag as he raced with Gabby Chavez for the 9th spot. They made contact coming to the stripe as Montoya was running out of fuel. Chavez edged him for that position. So Montoya, after leading 35 of 68 laps, finishes in 10th as the championship leader.
Excuse me. Great result for Sato and Foyt also.
Well, Doc, the circumstances all worked out in their favor. And for Jimmy Vasser, his driver Sebastian Bourdais, a win today.
And he's pumping his fist. Jimmy, a big smile. You said it was close. How close was it? I mean, why you had to be worried?
Well, I think we could have done one more at the end there because the race got short in the 1 lap. But, you know, all credit to these guys on the whole KVSH Mystic Hydroxycut team. And having the Chevrolet power here and winning in Detroit is extra special. And, you know, he's a great champion. He's been there before, so we had the right guy in the seat.
Hey, go celebrate.
All right, thank you.
Alan?
33rd career win for Sebastian Bourdais. Led the last 18 laps and set his fastest lap of the race and the fastest lap of the race on the last lap. And as Bourdais makes his way back around, all I can think of from this entire weekend is what challenges these teams faced, and the track promoter and the fans and so on, the weather conditions, the changeable conditions and so on. What an exhausting weekend here in Detroit for all of these folks.
And preparing the cars from when you come from a place like Indy, which is totally different, and also for the drivers to change their mentality to race here. This is some of the most exciting racing I have seen.
To do donuts, boys. Yeah, put that on the little note.
That's a little embarrassing to have it stall on the front stretch, but
if you're going to win
yeah,
with a GM engine, there's nothing better than winning here in Detroit.
And you talk about different racetracks. I've always said that the IndyCar drivers are the most diverse drivers in the world because you go from Indianapolis 2.5 miles, 225, 30 miles an hour, and then you come here, as you can hear the fans now applauding, to this type of a street road course, and then off to Texas, a high bank track. So drivers and teams do a tremendous job.
How bad do you think you wanted that, Alan?
Well, we all sat down with Jimmy Vasser and then briefly with Sebastian yesterday, Friday it was, and they talked about how close they were, but yet how elusive the little missing piece was.
And the frustration from Sebastian Bourdais that he had not won yet because he knows how close he has been.
Now Juan Pablo Montoya walking back.
Not the way he thought the weekend was going to end. Great team, great driver. And they won here in Detroit with a Chevy. Teams put so much effort into racing, and when you're close like that, you can't get a win. It just builds up so much pressure in the team, and it's really great to see it released with a win like that today. Doc?
Let's go to Doc.
Sebastian Bourdais, hey, that's how close it was. You couldn't even make it back?
No, I did. I just had a too long first gear to do donuts today. Too much grip from the Firestone tires. Couldn't spin the rear wheels.
Hey, what does this mean to you? You guys have worked so hard to be able to get this team back where it needed to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's man, it's just a heck of a feeling. After yesterday's debacle, you know, we couldn't get it more wrong yesterday, and you know, today just did everything wrong yesterday and did everything right today. The strategy, the pit stops, you know, the management of the fuel, the guys did awesome, and couldn't be any happier for the Mystic guys and Droxy Cut, Circle K, Chevrolet at home, man.
How about that? A big win for Chevy here. Sebastian Bourdais goes back to victory lane for the first time in almost a year. Alan?
What a weekend in Detroit. What a finish. And Sebastian Bourdais, the winner of Duel in Detroit race number 2. ABC World News or your local news is next, except on the West Coast. Been quite a trip through the month of May. And we end in Detroit with Sebastian Bourdais celebrating his first win of the season, the 7th different winner in the last 8 races in IndyCar.